So, parlaying that, I was working VKO. VKO went out of business in December of '08, right after Obama got into office, and the Catholic Church bought it. The Catholic Church out bought it, and I don't know if they're still a Catholic station, but I know they end up buying the station. I mean, it's the Catholic Church. You ain't gonna, they got money. You're dealing with the Vatican at that point. And so I was actually had working simultaneously with WNCI, and NCI didn't care about me working at VKO, and I just didn't work as much as I was working prior to that. Because at one point I was at VKO all the time, and so when I got an NCI, man, they opened me into a whole other realm. And it was the two different worlds. You're going from one of the stations at the bottom versus one of the stations at the number one station, and you see why the station's number one, you see why the station's at the bottom. The dynamics were totally different. The technology was totally different. The pacing was totally different. The competitiveness was totally different. There was always a notion of we want to be one, we want number one, we want to stay number one. NCI historically, it has a lot of history behind it. It's the oldest FM signal, I believe, in the nation. I know for it as a fact in the Midwest, but I think it's in the nation. And because it's the oldest, it's grandfathered in. Now most stations prior to NCI, you had to regulate their wattage, but NCI is 100 watts, so that's why sometimes you'll hear them say on their sweepers, NCI coming you 100 watts because it's a 100 wattage station. That's why you can hear it so far from Columbus too. So, and their tower actually sits on the Nationwide building downtown. So if you ever seen that Lone Needle on top of the tower Nationwide, that's actually the radio tower for WNCI. And they, I think at one point in time, they were even in the Nationwide building. Like they actually broadcasted live from there. I know they were at one point in time, they were broadcasting at the Continent, and when I got there, they were on Fifth Avenue, kind of towards Granville. We wasn't that far from the like ABC Sits or the Blitz. We were like in that cluster. They used to call that Broadcast Row back in the day. And that was like ABC Sits, CW is over there, and ABC Sits and CW are in the same building. They're all connected. They're under the same umbrella. And then you had the Blitz. I forgot what the Blitz media group was. I think their Saga. I think either their Saga or Sony. A Sony 95 was Saga. But but yeah, and of course at that time, Inside was under Clear Channel, which is now iHeart. iHeart was just launching as a streaming service because Pandora was coming out, and people were really nervous in radio because they thought Pandora and these things were kind of going to kill the radio. Um, but there was an old radio guy named Casey Jones taught me something. He said, no matter what comes out, radio will always be needed because it will always be a means of communication. Radio is one of the oldest forms of communication, and it's one of the most important forms of communication. It may evolve, it may change, but it will always be there in some capacity. And that's actually kind of true, even with podcasting and things that we're seeing. The radio just will evolve. It will never technically go away. Just the way and the style we may be used to may change. I do miss this regular radio. I miss having local personalities dissecting national issues, but also dealing and connecting with the community locally. I think that that's something that's missed because the purpose of the local DJ, or what we now call on-air personality, is to connect with the viewer. And it's something about when you connect with somebody that's in your city that can speak on the behalf of your city from an entertaining perspective, a political perspective. Those things matter. And so I kind of do miss those elements. I enjoyed my 3 years at NCI and WVKO and internet stations that I did. And when I kind of backed away to kind of do more time for ministry and stuff like that, there's a part of me that misses it. Every now and then, like I would do certain things over the years, especially like with WDG or Fly Paper with some stuff I did with them. There was another station called WZ something WZ. I can't think of it. It's WZP or something. And this I still have it. And I don't think you ever lose it. I think media is just like something where anything you love, you don't ever fall out of love with it. You could be burnt out with it, and you may need to take a break from it. But it's in you. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your nature. It's a part of what you're called. And there's days that I miss it, man. There's days that I just be like, man, I want to crack a mic open and just go to town and just, ideas or skits or bits still come to my mind. And so I'm thankful, man, just for that experience, allowing me to explore my creativity at 18. For people like Maxwell, people like Gary Richards, taking a chance on me and believing in me and seeing even more than what I've seen in myself. And you need people like that sometimes can see more than even what you can see. And I had such a marvelous time as I've gotten older. I look back on my experience on radio so much more fun. The lessons that I learned in that moment, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't take it back from the world. I got in the business at the right time, at the right moment. It was so much history happening, from music, from government to social. I'm just blessed for my experience, and I'm thankful for it. And so, yeah, but those were my first two gigs in media.